Hey guys, Chris here, just bringing you an update on the good old canary finches that we have here. So I just wanted to update you on the two pairs that we have set up and give you also an update on the babies from last pair. So this is my red factor pair. These are their babies from the first round. So she did lay eggs again and I went on vacation. When I came back from vacation, excuse me, none of the eggs were really viable and some had little holes punctured in them, stuff like that. So what I did is I removed all the eggs, and also they had their chicks in there with them still, and I think that was a big distraction for them and was really hard for the hen to sit on her eggs. Oh, she finally came off. I just fed them this morning, so we can look in there. You guys can see the eggs. So you can see I actually have 6 eggs in there, and I'll get to that in a minute to tell you why. Usually canaries will lay anywhere from 2 to 4 eggs. That's pretty typical. And she did lay 3 eggs on this one. So the reason why she has 6 eggs is this pair down here, my Mosaic pair, the hen, she laid some eggs. She kind of had her nest half built, and she laid the eggs pretty soon after she had gotten in here and didn't really sit on them. So I threw them up here in hopes that maybe she would sit on them. So I threw the eggs in there. I don't think she really sat on them a whole lot, and then about 3 to 4 days later was when she started laying her eggs. So she's been sitting on them for about 4 days now. So I'm gonna candle them in probably 2 days just to make sure I can see what's fertile or not, and whatever's not fertile I'll take out. I'm kind of thinking that these eggs that I put in, none of them will be fertile, so I'll probably be tossing 3 eggs, or at least 2, and then she can sit on the 4. She's been really fertile, or my male's been really fertile. All the eggs that she has laid this year have been fertile, so I'm expecting the 3 that she's laid to all 3 be fertile as well. So, and hopefully they'll all 3 hatch out and we'll be good. So, like I said, she's about 4 to 5 days sitting on the nest. Male's been really good to her. He's very attentive. Great dad, feeds her on the nest. He's not aggressive one bit. Really, really enjoy this pair. If I could have all of my canary pairs like that, then that would be awesome. So they got 6 eggs. 3 of them are Mosaic, and then the other 3 are hers. So we'll see what happens there. Hopefully we'll get some good results from them. Down here we got our Mosaic pair. This is my male right there. My hen is sitting, so she is kind of a light sitter. So I covered up her nest just to make sure she's not distracted. Whereas like this female, she's pretty good and she'll sit on the nest and doesn't really pay attention to the other birds out there. This gal, she's a little different. So I did cover up her nest and gave her some nesting material. She built a really good nest, which is a good sign. Usually when your canaries build a good nest, that means they're in great breeding condition. So we're gonna lift this up. She'll probably jump off. There's my gal. So she's got a good little nest. She laid 4 eggs. She's been sitting about 5 days as well. So we'll candle them in a couple days, see if any are fertile. Hopefully all 4 are fertile. I'm really hoping to kind of bring back the Mosaics. Oh, there she goes. She jumped off. You guys can see there. She's got her 4 eggs. So one thing to note with canaries, and you can definitely tell here on the video, see how that one egg on the top left is a darker blue than the others? Typically in canaries, the last egg that they lay is always a darker blue. So if you see an egg that's a darker color, usually that's their last egg that they've laid. So I found that to be pretty true with all of my canaries. And I did read that somewhere, and at first I didn't believe it, but I wanted to put it to the test and try it out, and it works pretty good. So usually your darker blue egg is the last egg that they lay, and that's not always the case. Some of them may all be the same color, but kind of a fun fact. So she's been really good. She's been a great sitter. This will be this male's first time this year breeding, so hopefully he'll be fertile. And he's been out in the aviary for several months, so he's had lots of exercise. He's been singing his heart out, so I have no reason to believe that he won't be fertile. But so hoping we'll get us some Mosaics. I do have another male Mosaic out here. Looks like he might be outside in the aviary. Yeah, I'm not seeing him there. So hopefully we'll get some females here, and we can pair up with my male that I have out there. And then looks like my other female canaries are outside. So I do have 2 Lipochrome females, and I picked up an American Singer at the same time I grabbed this gal. None of them are ready to breed. Hopefully they'll start coming into condition here now that it's warming up and springtime's getting closer. I know my male Mosaic out there, he's been singing his heart out, so I thought about maybe when the females come into condition, I'll pair him up with them. Not sure. We'll see what happens. I'm just excited. We got these 2 pairs on right now. Females are doing really good sitting. Usually go right on the nest. She just went back on. My other hen's up there. She's sitting tight. So great pairs right there. Hoping for some good results. So here are the baby red factors. So you can see I have had a lot of people ask what I use to color feed them, how I do it. So I do my color food in their water. And it is, let me grab it here. Sorry for the mess over here. I haven't cleaned it up from feeding them. So this is what I get. That one's an old one because the date is expired. So I have that. And then I bought this off of LadyGoldieandFinch.com. So, and let me open it up. It's just kind of like a red pellet mixture. I mean, it's very fine material. I don't know if you'll be able to see it in there. So, just like these little red pellets. And what I do is I just scoop up a little tiny bit right in that, and I throw it in there and I put it in the water. I mean, it's a teeny tiny pinch. You do not need a lot. That stuff is very concentrated and too much can be damaging and detrimental to the birds. So I put it in there. You can tell it's red. Mix it up a little bit and it gets pretty red. And you can see here that my canaries are already molting out. You can see the red coming in, so it is working. And we'll try and stick this in here and see if you can see. So you can tell they are getting some red colors in them, and it's kind of cool to see the process of their molt. You know, it's not top to bottom or bottom to top. It's kind of just throughout, and it seems like typically like the very tips or the shoulders of their wings and the base of their tail and their rump are the first to molt, and then it kind of works down at the bottom of their belly and comes up, and then their heads are usually one of the last areas to molt out. And that's kind of the same for Goldie and finches as well. But so shows you the process. All 3 of them are doing great. I got them all banded. They do have number bands on them, so it's good for my record books. If I have a male, he already has spoken from a different breeder, so he's already taken. And then the other 2, I'll see if they're male or female and debate on whether I want to keep them or trade them out for maybe some different red factor bloodlines. I have been thinking about that because this pair is getting old. This is their 3rd year breeding for me, and they were 2 years old when I got them, so they're getting up there in age. And so this might be their last year, and maybe what I need to do is trade out a couple of my red factor canaries for some other red factor bloodlines and get some fresh blood in here and keep them going, because I really like the red factors. Beautiful birds. I do think it's pretty cool that they can be yellow or red, whatever you choose to do, and so that's one thing I do like about that. So all 3 of them are doing great, super healthy, strong. I've decided to keep them in here until they molt all the way out, just for the factor that just for the reason that I don't want to put color food in there and give the rest of my birds color food, because it will affect my Goldie and finches. They do have red in them. It would change some colors for them. I don't know if it would do anything for the zebra finches. Maybe it would make their orange cheek patches a little darker red. That might be something cool to play around with, but it just makes it easier to do them in one cage instead of having to feed a whole aviary of birds that don't need the color food. So hopefully things will keep going good for these guys. In another month, I'm hoping that they'll be mostly molted out. I'll be able to see if I have any males in there or not. I haven't seen any starting to sing yet. And typically around this time, the males will start to warble a little bit and have a little soft song. But I also haven't sat in here for a long time and watched them, so that could be the difference and the reason there. But so hopefully everything will continue to go well with them. Get them sold and traded out for some new bloodlines. Hope we'll get some other babies here and add them to the breeding stock, and also hopefully maybe trade. I would like to get me a lipochrome male. He's the red and the white. Beautiful birds. I do not have a male. My male passed away this winter, and so I am looking for another male of that. They're not very common throughout here, or if breeders have them, they're not of great color quality, and I would like to try and get the best quality that I can. So that's where we're at on the canaries. I was gonna say I was hoping that the females would come in. I could show you them, but it looks like they're still out. Here's my male Mosaic. So he's in here singing his heart out. He's eating some egg food right now. He's got some pretty decent color on his breast. He's a little bit lighter color than the Mosaic that I have paired up with here. So he's got a little bit more red and coloring on him, and that's one of the reasons why I pulled him in here, because I'd like to keep that deep color going, and hopefully these babies will show that, and we'll be able to keep some great colors in the bloodline. So if you guys got any comments, drop some below. Be happy to help out. Any comment that you have, you know, I'll try my best to answer them for you. I'm not an expert, but I'd love to help you guys out in any way that I can. So appreciate you watching. Hope all your guys' birds are doing great and your canaries are getting ready to breed, and if not already breeding for you. So appreciate all the support you guys give us, and you guys have a good one. See ya.